I can do in Spanish. I think it's ordering a beer or I have a bottle of red wine, but the rest I have to do in English. Thanks for being here and have the chance to have a short presentation on variable speed gensets, which are more and more requesting in the offshore industry, in tugboats, and other diesel electric propulsion systems, due to the benefits we can later. I will start with a short few words about M2 and the new setting, what is behind Rolls-Royce Power Systems, which is quite new the last 2 years. For us, more or less didn't change that much, but to give you a short info, 2-3 slides, and then we will start with the very speed presentations. If you have any questions, we can do it afterwards. We have some space left. Or if you don't understand something, let me know and then we can repeat it. It's good to hear. Like short the topics, like short overview, like I said, about the company, and then to the technical evaluation and the case study on the PSV, which we did on the readout on the real PSV, which is operating in Norway. Like the company M2, like it was founded, or it's quite a long history of M2. Everything started with Mr. Zeppelin, with the Zeppelin airships. Out of this, he needed engines, gearboxes, he needed any construction work, so Mr. Maybach, Mr. Daimler started creating engines. After some years, Daimler and Maybach created the Maybach Motorenbau, which is called Maybach engine production. It was part of the Daimler off-highway sector, which is everything was running not on the street, and Maybach. There was even a short time a joint venture with MAN, which they created the M2 Friedrichshafen, which was called the Motoren- and Turbinenunion, so engine and turbine union. MAN stepped after several years, they stepped out again. So M2 was renamed to M2 Friedrichshafen GmbH. We're purchasing Detroit Diesel. In 2006, 2007, M2 went on to the stock as their own company under the brand of Tognum. Tognum was bought in 2011 by a corporation of Daimler and Rolls-Royce again. And this year, in the beginning of January, February, we will have been renamed to Rolls-Royce Power Systems, which is still owned by 50% of Rolls-Royce and 50% of Daimler. During the year, we will be owned by 100% of Rolls-Royce, which was already announced in the news. Under Rolls-Royce Power System, there is mainly the M2 high-speed engines, which goes up to 10,000 kilowatts. We have turbines for marine business up to 35,000 kilowatts. We have on-site energy systems for decentralized energy systems. Bergen Engines, the medium-speed brand from Norway, is under Rolls-Royce Power Systems. And as in the past, the Roush products, injection systems are still under the brand of Rolls-Royce Power Systems. We're still working in many different applications. For marine is yachts, ferries, workboats, tugboats, PSVs, offshore supply vessels, police crafts. We have the governmental sector for marine. We have offshore where we supply products to the oil rigs, and many other applications where we work with and selling our products. Coming to the topic I'm here for, so the variable speed gensets. So I would say the last 2-3 years it was more and more in discussion having variable speed gensets to have more fuel-efficient propulsion systems for the offshore vessels. It was mainly coming from the offshore vessels, but we even see it more and more so in tugboats, diesel electric tugs, hybrid tugs, where you think about using hybrid speed genset, variable speed gensets to get the vessels more and more efficient. Most motivation is saving money. So like everybody which is working in commercial marine wants to save money and make the vessel more efficient in the end. So by using variable speed compared to a constant speed generator, the most benefit will be by reducing fuel consumption and also optimize life cycle costs, time between overhauls, maintenance service intervals, and also another advantage is having a much wider range of engines. Like you cannot use only the 15 and 1800 RPM engines for high speed. You can use even 2000, 2100 RPM engines. So you have a much wider range, and you can even, for some applications, have a smaller engine producing the same power. Coming to detailed technical evaluations, where we have been challenged with, which needs to be considered when you are planning or thinking about using variable speed gensets compared to constant speed gensets. So you need to consider some issues by designing the system and evaluating the optimal operation points on the engines, which then needs to be done close together with the system integrator for the whole entire electrical system, from switchboards, transformators, electric motors, together with the engine supplier and the generator supplier to really make the system most efficient and make it most efficient also to the effect to mobility and load sharing and all these issues. Looking into the performance map, like there are different propulsion engines or internal combustion engines on the market. Like you have engines which have fixed turbochargers, which don't have different areas. You have engines which have sequential turbocharging, but all the engines mostly have the same, the most, let's say, economical way to operate would be close to the maximum continuous rating or DBR curve, MCR curve, and also mostly in the area where the engine has medium to the higher load. There will be the most efficient areas to operate an engine, which is for fast very fine because they are operating often in that areas. But tugboats, PSVs, they are operating mostly in the lower areas for a long time. So there are a lot of benefits to have the chance to saving something and build the system more efficient. Like here is an example of two rail engines, which has only one turbocharger, and they will be all the time working. So there's only one area which is the most economical way to operate the engine. You'll see some engines from the marine application where we have sequential turbocharging. So you have different areas where you operate either with 1, 2 or even 4 turbochargers. You have more areas where the fuel consumption is optimized. Like for example, on the right side you see an engine with 2 turbochargers. So if the engine will start up with 1 turbocharger, you have an efficient area, the most efficient area for this 1 turbocharger, somewhere at 15% load, close to the MCR. There's another area at around 70-80% load, which is another optimized area where 2 turbochargers are working. For example, on the 20D you have working 4 turbochargers. So each area can be optimized in the most efficient way. So if you would operate at say 25% load, even there is an area where it's most economical to operate the engine. So with a variable speed genset, you could operate in these areas and really adjust the load profile, the operation profile of the vessel to the most most efficient areas on the engine performance maps, which is not possible if you compare it, if you go back to engines with only 1 turbocharger. There's only one area which is the most efficient area. Is only to consider when you sit together with the system designer by looking into the operation profile, the load requirements on each different operation task. Compare two engines, like the 63L is a propulsion engine, so with a variable speed range from 500 RPM up to 1800 RPM, compared to a constant speed genset engine with 1800 RPM. It would save quite a lot of money and most economic in the low load area. Like I said, it's the fuel savings in the 80%, 90%, 100% area are not that much. But if you operate the vessel in a really medium load, low load area, you will see there will be quite high possibilities to save fuel. In this case, it's the liters per hour on the 1840 kilowatt, 2240 kilowatt engine. And this would be the saving on the MCR curve, the dashed line. And on the propeller curve, it's a little bit less. Like I said before, as closer you come to the MCR, as much, if more efficient the engine will be. For sure, you need still space to have load step requirements or acceleration reserves in the system. Looking on the performance gap, on the M63L 2240 kilowatt compared to the M43S, we should compare the 100% load step, so the genset engine or the constant speed engine will have around 205 grams per kilowatt hour. The same one on the propulsion engine is a bit better, so 2% better. And if you look into the 25% area, so the constant speed engine will really go into an area where the fuel efficiency is worse. They only operate on 25% load, but on full speed. So compared to the propulsion engine coming close to the MCR, we still have a really good fuel efficiency on this 25% load. So the savings will be quite high, especially if you have a vessel operating in that lower area, medium load area, which is quite often on the PSVs. Like if you have a DP mode operating for hours or days in DP1 or DP2, all 4 gensets or 3 gensets or 6 gensets will be in operation due to the DP regulations. So you have to run all the gensets somewhere in this area. So if you can save 20-25% fuel on a PSV which runs 60% at low load or medium load, gives you quite a benefit and return on money if you have the system running on variable speed. What you have to consider by coming close to the MCR, that the capability for load steps will be reduced as closer you come to the MCR curve. So that's the task of the engineers from the engine manufacturer together with the system suppliers, system integrators, electrical power system engineers to define for each operation behavior of the vessel the best economical setup and operating point on the engine, and also considering how much the load step could be. 10-20%. Can I adjust the load step by using batteries as a backup to reduce the load step, or by reducing for some seconds the load to speed up the engine and do that step? So it's a lot of engineering and working together with the whole setup in to make the system most economical. If you need more space, you can operate on the propeller curve. You still have a lot of space, 30-40% for load steps. But as closer you come to the MCR, as better it is, as more efficient it is. We'll see it also later on the case study with the PSVs.